A huge confusion arises, what should we meditate upon? Shree Krishna puts the debate to rest. He says, Arjun, attach your mind to me. So how will you meditate on God? Here the technique is roopdhyān. Our mind has its sanskārs. It will very easily connect with a form. Just provide the mind the form of God. What a wonderful way it is to simulate love for God. I heard that in the US, even for driving the car, there's an option of learning within a simulator where you don't have to risk your life and the life of others on the road. Likewise, Shree Krishna says, before I call you to my Golok, why don't you just practice it? And that practice is the roopdhyān meditation, where you bring Shree Krishna, Radha Ji in front, and you press their feet, etc. There are so many benefits in this. Now you will move ahead in leaps and bounds.
Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 6, Dhyan Yoga, the Yoga of Meditation. Sloka chanting is followed by translation and commentary by Swami Mukundananda.
Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantim nirvana paramam matsansthamadhigacchati.
Thus, constantly keeping the mind absorbed in me, the yogi of disciplined mind attains nirvana and abides in me in supreme peace.
So Maharshi Patanjali also went from pratyahar to dharan and then to dhyan. So Shree Krishna has also gone through the same stages: pratyahar, withdraw your senses; dharan, and now dhyan. So what to do for dhyan? There are so many kinds of dhyan in this world. There is Buddhist meditation and innumerable varieties of Buddhist meditation. Of course, 5 basic Buddhist dhyan, prem dhyan, daya dhyan, etc. There's Taoist meditation. There's Zen meditation. Now, 40 years ago, if you did research, you would come to know that this word Zen has actually come from dhyan. When dhyan went along with Buddhism to China, it became jhan. And jhan then became Zen. But now they want to wipe out that connection, right? So now if you do a research, you will not find that link. But Zen word has actually come from dhyan or meditation. So there is Zen meditation. And then in Ashtang Yoga, there are so many kinds of meditation. In Hinduism, there are probably 10,000 forms of meditation as an underestimate. Somebody says meditate on the Agya Chakra. Somebody says meditate on the Manipura Chakra. Somebody says meditate on the Mooladhara, etc., etc., etc. So a huge confusion arises. What should we meditate upon? Shree Krishna puts the debate to rest. He says, Arjun, matsansthamadhigacchati. Last time he said, matchitto. Attach your mind to me. So if somebody can have faith in this bit of knowledge, that I need to meditate on God, I would say half the journey is accomplished. Because as a teacher of meditation, I go around the world and I ask people, what are you supposed to meditate on? So not even 5% know. They are practicing meditation, but they don't even know they're supposed to meditate on God. Once that decision is made, now the process becomes easy. So how will you meditate on God? Here the technique is roopdhyān. Our mind has its sanskārs. It will very easily connect with a form. So if you want the mind to connect to God, just provide the mind the form of God. What a wonderful way it is to simulate love for God. Like, for example, the astronauts, when they are trained for space, when they are up there, it will be a very difficult environment, free of gravity. And sometimes if that satellite gets hit by a space object, it could rotate at hundreds of revolutions per second with the astronaut inside. So the astronaut needs to be trained for all of that. That is why they have a simulation. In that simulator, they get trained for the space environment. I heard that in the US, even for driving the car, there's an option of learning within a simulator where you don't have to risk your life and the life of others on the road. You can actually learn in a simulator. Likewise, Shree Krishna says, before I call you to my Golok, why don't you just practice it? And that practice is the roopdhyān meditation, where you bring Shree Krishna, Radha Ji in front, and you press their feet, etc., etc., etc. So, there are so many benefits in this. Now, some people say, look, we don't believe in meditation on a form because we cannot connect the form with the infinite. So what do you meditate on? They also will find some kind of form to meditate. Some of them will meditate on their guru. Now the Arya Samaj was so vehement that Murti Puja is all wrong. So Swami Vivekananda, there's a story about him. He went to a prince's house in Alwar, Rajasthan. And that prince was a disciple in the Arya Samaj. He had a huge picture of Swami Dayanand. And they got into a debate. And that prince, that Raja of Alwar, started criticizing that murtis and all, they are complete crutches of the mind and this is not God and what jokery you are doing. Swami Vivekananda took the picture of Swami Dayanand, put it on the ground. That was Swami Dayanand, founder of Arya Samaj. Big, great personality. And he started walking on his face. That infuriated the Raja of Alwar. What are you doing? I'll break your head. Swami Vivekananda said, this is only a paper. But your getting so annoyed means you have created divine sentiments in it. Now you were refuting the puja of the Murti and you are doing it yourself. In which religion don't they use symbols? In Christianity, they have the symbol of the cross. In Islam, they have the Kaaba. Whenever the namaz is read, everybody will face the Kaaba. What is there? There's a symbol which we have identified as sacred. So everybody needs something to attach the mind. Now we have the same process. In the beginning, Shree Krishna will not reveal himself. You create those divine sentiments towards the Murti. So it is not the Murti per se, your sentiments. which are purifying you. When Swami Vivekananda came to the US, he was the first Swamiji here, and people were unaware of the Indian religion. So they would ridicule it. Somebody said that these Hindus, they are so crazy in the head, they worship stone as God. Somebody introduced him that asking Swami Vivekananda if he can give knowledge is like asking the sun if it can give light. But now this question had been raised about a Hindu tradition of worshipping murtis, deities. So Swami Vivekananda said, my Guru, Ramakrishna Paramahans, before him my knowledge was like a drop in front of the ocean. And that Ramakrishna Paramahans used to worship a deity of Mother Kali. So if by worshipping a deity you can reach that elevated state, what is the problem? It is the sentiment that we are creating which is purifying ourselves. Likewise, now when we talk about murtis, the murti can be of many kinds. Shaili, darumai, lauhi, lekhya, lepya cha saikati, manomai, manimai, pratimashta vidha smrita. The Srimad Bhagavad Puran says there are 8 kinds of murtis. And one of them is manomai, the murti, the deity that you make with your mind. So with your mind you create an image of Shree Krishna. And then practice love for him. It is so powerful. If you can just do this much, that you close your eyes and bring the image of Radha Krishna in front, half the journey is accomplished. Now you will move ahead in leaps and bounds. But that stage will require effort, it will require practice. Now here people say, Swamiji, that is all right, but we have never seen Sri Krishna. How will we bring his image to our mind? So Guruji, please show me God first. I will see, okay, this is how Sri Krishna looks. Now I'll close my eyes and I'll make his image. But having darshan of Sri Krishna is the fruit of practice. So you want the fruit first and then do practice. Does it ever happen in the world? You say, give me the mango fruit, then I'll plant the sapling. Does any student say, give me the degree, then I'll start studying? Every teacher in university will say, that's crazy. First deserve and then desire. Well, likewise, we cannot demand that first I should see Sri Krishna, then practice to think of him. Sri Krishna says, you have to begin right now. However, the ease is, he says, you can visualize my image as you wish. He says, look, I am Ananta Nam Rupa. I have got infinite forms. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Infinite avatars, infinite leelas, infinite pastimes, and infinite devotees. So, you have full freedom. Amongst those infinite forms of mine is the form you will create in your mind for me as well. So without any hesitation, you visualize Sri Krishna as you wish. Once in Vrindavan, it's got 5,000 temples. So I had some time. I decided, okay, let's see how many temples I can visit from morning till evening. So I started going around 50, 60, 70 temples. Every temple, the form of Sri Krishna was different. One Bihariji is totally black, and then Shyam Sundar is light blue, and then Radha Raman is so tiny and he's got buttons on his eyes, etc., goes on and on. So it is not that Shree Krishna says, those who have worshipped this particular form will attain me, and all the other temples cancelled. Shree Krishna says, you are free to visualize me as you wish. Because what I see is not the form, but the love in the heart. And that love will purify you. And when the heart is truly pure, I will add my divine power, the Yoga Maya. When Yoga Maya comes in, also called Shuddha Sattva, not material Sattva, then your mind will become divine. By the grace of Yoga Maya, the mind is material, then it will become divine. At that stage, you will not have to say, okay, let me do roopdhyān. You will see Shree Krishna as he is by his grace. That will be after God realization. And before he says, first, guddi gudiya ka khel. Like, little girls, they play with dolls. So right now they are playing with dolls, they are getting the dolls married, and then they grow up themselves and get actually married. Likewise, Sri Krishna says, right now, guddi gudiya ka khel is good enough. You have to purify your mind. And when it is pure, the rest I will do. So right now, meditation on the image of God. Alongside with that, you keep the qualities, think about the infinite qualities. You meditate on the leelas, the pastimes. You meditate on his name. So this is Naam, Roop, Leela, Gun, Dham, Sant. The names, forms, virtues, pastimes, abodes, associates of God. This is the divine realm. You take your mind anywhere there. And then, as you do this, with disciplined mind, you will attain the supreme destination. So the discipline will be necessary. We were talking about dovetailing, which means you take the mind away from the world and you dovetail it to God. If you merely take the mind away from the world, it will not work. Once, Kaka Hatrasi, an Indian famous Hindi humor poet, he was from Hathras and now he was residing in Delhi. So some of his old classmates, one of them came to meet Kaka Hatrasi. And Kaka Hatrasi was overjoyed. Arey yaar, what do you do nowadays? And that guy said, God has been kind. I have become an industrialist and I've got a factory and I'm also putting a new factory. And I just sold one factory. Kaka Hatrasi was very impressed. He said, we've got few more classmates here. Come, let me take you to all of them who are living in Delhi. So that fellow said that, I've got so many factories, but today I don't have any proper clothes. I don't want to go and meet them like this. Otherwise, what will they think? Kaka Hatrasi said, why do you care? I've got good clothes, you wear my clothes. So it's all right. To the first friend's house, Kaka Hatrasi said, do you remember Sanjeev? He's a big man now. He's got one factory, he's purchased another factory, he's selling a third factory, and the clothes he's wearing are mine. So when they left from there, the friend said, Arey bhai, you embarrassed me so much. Why did you have to point out to those clothes? So Kaka Hatrasi said, I'm so sorry, I will not say anything. They went to the next friend's house. So again Kaka Hatrasi said, Arey yaar, don't you remember our friend Sanjeev? He's a big man now. He's got 2 factories. He sold one factory and the clothes he's wearing are not mine. So Sanjeev said, oh my God, let's get out from here. He said, I'm not going anywhere. Kaka Hatrasi said, I'm so sorry. This time I promise I will not say anything about the clothes. Okay. So they went to the third friend's house. Now Kaka Hatrasi said, look, we were all the same, and look, Sanjeev has been blessed so much and he's become a big man, and I'm not going to tell you anything about his clothes. That is the nature of the mind. Mere detachment, mere withdrawal from the work which is not going to work, you dovetail it. The path of Jnana Yoga says, detach. The path of Bhakti Yoga says, attach and detach. He is going to say a little more about this.